Have you ever noticed how some people can walk into any room and immediately command respect without saying a single word? They don't need to raise their voice, argue, or prove themselves to anyone. Yet somehow everyone around them instinctively understands that this person has solid boundaries. It's not magic, it's not luck. And it definitely isn't because they were born with some special talent. It comes down to body language. Specific, subtle signals that communicate strength, confidence, and unshakable personal limits. Today, we're exploring 6 silent body language signs that reveal someone has rock-solid boundaries. These aren't dramatic gestures or obvious displays of power. They're quiet, almost invisible behaviors that speak louder than words ever could. And here's what's fascinating about these signals. Most people miss them completely. They're so subtle that they fly under the radar of conscious awareness. Yet your subconscious mind picks up on every single one of them instantly. These body language cues work because they tap into something primal in human psychology. Before we had language, before we had words to express our thoughts and feelings, we communicated through posture, gesture, and physical presence. These ancient signals still carry tremendous weight in modern interactions. When someone displays these 6 signs consistently, they create an invisible shield around themselves that manipulators and boundary crossers simply cannot penetrate. The first silent sign of strong boundaries lies in how these individuals position their body in space. Watch someone with solid personal limits enter a conversation. Their posture tells a story before they speak their first word. They stand with their feet firmly planted, shoulder width apart, creating a stable foundation that suggests they cannot be easily moved or swayed. Their spine remains straight but not rigid, showing confidence without aggression. This stance communicates that they occupy their space fully and without apology. But here's the subtle part that most people miss. It's not just about standing tall. It's about how they distribute their weight. Someone with weak boundaries often shifts their weight from foot to foot, leans toward others when speaking, or unconsciously makes themselves smaller by hunching their shoulders. Strong boundary holders do the opposite. They center their weight evenly, keep their shoulders back and down, and maintain their physical space even when others move closer. This centered posture sends a clear message to everyone around them. They are grounded, stable, and not easily influenced by external pressure. Their body language says they know exactly where they stand, both literally and figuratively. And because this positioning feels natural and relaxed, rather than defensive or hostile, people respect it instinctively. The second sign appears in their facial expressions, particularly around the eyes and mouth. People with strong boundaries maintain what psychologists call neutral facial positioning during tense or manipulative conversations. Their expression doesn't shift dramatically based on what others are saying or doing. They don't mirror the emotional intensity of someone who's trying to provoke them. Instead, their face remains calm, alert, and composed. Watch their eyes during these interactions. While others might dart their gaze around nervously, look down in submission, or stare aggressively to intimidate, boundary holders maintain steady, direct eye contact without being confrontational. Their gaze is attentive but not reactive. They're clearly listening and processing, but their eyes don't reveal internal turmoil or emotional reactivity. Their mouth tells an equally powerful story. No nervous smiling to diffuse tension. No pursed lips showing irritation. No dropped jaw expressing shock or offense. Their mouth remains in a neutral, relaxed position that suggests they're taking in information without being emotionally hijacked by it. This facial control communicates that they process interactions thoughtfully rather than reactively. The third sign shows up in their hand and arm positioning. Strong boundary holders rarely use their hands to create barriers or shields in front of their body. They don't cross their arms defensively, clasp their hands nervously, or fidget with objects when under pressure. Instead, their arms hang naturally at their sides or rest comfortably in open positions that suggest confidence and accessibility. When they do use hand gestures, these movements are deliberate and controlled rather than frantic or excessive. They might use their hands to emphasize a point, but the gestures feel measured and intentional. Their hands don't flutter nervously or grip things tightly when conversations become challenging. This controlled use of hand movements signals that they're comfortable in their own skin and not easily rattled by external circumstances. What makes this particularly powerful is how it affects others unconsciously. Open, controlled hand positioning makes people feel safer and more trusting, while also establishing that this person cannot be easily intimidated or manipulated through aggressive tactics. The fourth sign emerges in how they manage personal space and physical proximity. Watch how someone with solid boundaries responds when others move too close during conversation. They don't step back dramatically or become visibly uncomfortable. Instead, they maintain their position while subtly adjusting their body angle or taking a small, barely noticeable step to re-establish their preferred distance. This spatial awareness extends beyond just physical proximity. They position themselves strategically in group settings, choosing spots that give them clear sight lines and easy exit routes without appearing paranoid or antisocial. They understand that controlling space means controlling interactions. When someone tries to corner them physically or emotionally, they smoothly adjust their positioning without making it obvious or confrontational. This spatial intelligence communicates that they're aware of their environment and won't allow themselves to be trapped or overwhelmed. The fifth sign appears in their breathing patterns and overall energy regulation. People with strong boundaries breathe differently during stressful interactions. While others might hold their breath, breathe shallowly from their chest, or take quick, nervous breaths, boundary holders maintain deep, steady breathing from their diaphragm. This controlled breathing keeps them centered and prevents their nervous system from triggering fight or flight responses. Their energy remains consistent throughout challenging conversations. They don't match the frantic energy of someone trying to provoke them. They don't speed up their movements or become hypervigilant when tension rises. Instead, they maintain a calm, steady rhythm that suggests they're processing information rather than reacting emotionally to it. This regulated energy has a fascinating psychological effect on others. When someone maintains consistent, calm energy during conflict, it actually helps stabilize the entire interaction. Other people unconsciously begin to match this steadier rhythm, which makes manipulation tactics far less effective. Manipulators rely on emotional chaos to succeed, and regulated breathing disrupts their strategy completely. The sixth, and perhaps most powerful sign, lies in their response timing and movement patterns. Strong boundary holders never rush their physical responses during tense moments. When someone makes a demand, asks an invasive question, or tries to pressure them into something, they don't immediately lean forward, step back, or change their posture. Instead, they pause. This pause isn't hesitation or uncertainty, it's conscious processing time. During this brief moment, they're evaluating the situation, considering their options, and choosing their response rather than reacting automatically. Their body remains still and composed while their mind works through the interactions strategically. When they do move or respond, it's deliberate and measured. They might nod slowly to acknowledge they heard something without agreeing to it. They might turn their body slightly to signal they're considering leaving the conversation. These movements are subtle, but clear to anyone paying attention. This controlled timing sends a powerful message. It communicates that they operate on their own schedule, not someone else's urgency. They won't be rushed into decisions or pressured into immediate responses. Their body language says they have the patience and confidence to think things through, which makes them incredibly difficult to manipulate or control. What ties all these signs together is their underlying foundation of self-awareness and emotional regulation. People with strong boundaries have trained themselves to notice their physical responses to stress and tension. They've learned to catch themselves before automatic reactions take over. This awareness allows them to choose their body language consciously rather than letting their emotions dictate their posture, expression, and movements. These 6 signs work together to create an invisible force field around people who have mastered the art of non-verbal boundary setting. They don't need to announce their limits or argue about their standards. Their body language does the communication for them, quietly but unmistakably. The beautiful thing about these signals is that anyone can learn them. They're not personality traits you're born with or skills that require years of training. They're simply ways of carrying yourself that communicate strength, confidence, and self-respect. When you begin practicing these body language patterns consistently, you'll notice how differently people respond to you. Boundary violators will instinctively sense that you're not an easy target and move on to someone else. Respectful people will appreciate your calm confidence and treat you accordingly. And most importantly, you'll feel more grounded and centered in your interactions because your body language aligns with your internal values. The next time you're in a challenging conversation or dealing with someone who doesn't respect limits, remember these 6 silent signs. Let your body language speak for you. These 6 silent body language signs reveal something profound about human communication. Your posture, facial expressions, hand movements, spatial awareness, breathing patterns, and response timing all work together to create a powerful message about who you are and what you stand for. When these elements align with strong internal boundaries, they become an unbreakable foundation that protects your peace and commands respect. The remarkable thing is how quickly these changes compound. Start with one sign, maybe focusing on your posture during conversations or practicing steady eye contact when feeling pressured. As that becomes natural, add another element, then another. Each small adjustment builds on the others until your entire presence shifts. People around you will notice something different long before they can put their finger on what changed. They'll find you harder to interrupt, less likely to bend under pressure, more trustworthy and reliable. You won't need to announce your boundaries because your body language will communicate them clearly and consistently. True strength doesn't require explanation or justification. It simply exists, quietly confident and unshakable. These silent signals help you embody that strength every day, in every interaction, without saying a word. Your boundaries become visible through your presence, and your presence becomes your protection.